What's up, coaster fans? It's time for another video. But before we get into that, please like and subscribe for more coaster content coming in the future. Today's video is going to be about my experience at Knoebles on Sunday, August 8th, 2021. Knoebles is located in Ellisburg, Pennsylvania, which is about an hour and a half from Allentown, so we included it with our Dorney Park trip. This park's kind of in the middle of nowhere. It's America's largest free admission park, which means you can just walk in and you can get a wristband on weekdays for unlimited rides. Or every day they have ride tickets. So I pre-ordered the amount needed to ride every major coaster they have at least once, and maybe a few extras. This park's very unique. It's a cross between what I would say a county fair and an amusement park. It has its own little unique quirks and charm. I've never been to a park quite like this, and I really can't put into words just how unique and charming it is. I mean, what other park has a pool in the middle of it, surrounded by coasters and a campground and so many other things? One credit I knew we weren't going to get was flying turns. The park's in-house built wooden bobsled, the only one in the world. Hopefully this ride will eventually reopen and I'll get a chance to get the credit. So we started our day by riding Twister, a wooden coaster based off the famous Twister that used to exist at the original Elitch Gardens. This thing is a wooden monster. This thing is crazy. You've got laterals that whip you around left and right constantly. It twists and turns and weaves throughout its structure and around itself. The station's literally built around a double helix. It's something very unique. I've also never seen a ride without any sort of gate to it. However, this ride is very interesting in the way they operate it. It only has regular PTC trains, but no seatbelts. Actually, if I wasn't being stingy, I would have gotten this free ride because they overshot the station. I've never seen something like that happen. We ended up getting two rides, once in the front, once in the back. Both were very different. In the back, I got whipped around into the side, and in the front, I thought it was a very enjoyable coaster. Now, Knoebles is known for one very famous coaster, Phoenix, a 1985, opening there, and relocated Woody that was saved from a park in Texas. This coaster constantly gets ranked by Amusement Today and the Golden Tickets as the best wooden coaster in the world. Now, given that information, I'm keeping my expectations in check. This is a classic PTC with just buzz bars, so you know the airtime's going to be there. But is this really worthy of being the best coaster in the world? In my opinion, it's not the best, but it definitely deserves to be in the talk. This thing, I got two rides on. Once in the front row, once in the back. When they say this thing has airtime, it has airtime. I might have gotten lucky and had perfect conditions with it being even early in the day, but it was hot, they were full trains, and this thing flew. It had solid floater, it had solid ejector. How much you got depended where you sat. Obviously in the back you had more than if you were in other seats. But all around, this coaster is literally made for airtime. The only turns are turnarounds, and there's no real banking or anything to them. This thing is literally an airtime machine. You can see it in the video if you look close enough. They only ran one train, which was a little unfortunate, but literally, they were like 30-second dispatches. This is a ride I recommend everyone gets to ride at least once. I also am thoroughly surprised at how close you can get to it as it creeps up the tunnel. It's like riding Gemini. You can give them a high five, which actually someone did give me back, which I thought was cool. This is one of those rides I recommend. It's just, there's not really words to describe it. It's an airtime machine. It may not be the best coaster in the world, in my opinion, but it definitely ranks up there as one that should be in the talk. Honestly, if you're in the area, going to Knoebles just to ride Phoenix is worth it in its own right. Now, it also has another indoor dark ride coaster combo. It's called Black Diamond. Unfortunately, I checked a couple of days before and it looks like something must have happened because it was closed. so we didn't get that credit. But we found something else unique next to it. Knoebles has a history museum of the park and Pennsylvania coal mining. I've never quite seen anything like this at a park. It's just interesting. You don't see the big ones outside of Twitter posting about their heritage and legacy. It's neat that they have this set up with all kinds of old pictures and a timeline of just what's going on. As someone who loves the theme park experience as a whole, it's neat to see a park embrace their history and past and put it on display in such a predominant fashion. It's next to Black Diamond if you're ever in the park, and I never heard anything about it till I walked by. It's definitely a little gem that I recommend checking out for yourself. We ended up hitting one of the park's classic rides, the Haunted Mansion. This was our only non-coaster ride, and I recommend hitting it. It's got jump scares and plenty of other things to get you interested. It's one of those old, quirky, dark rides that just you don't find anymore. I highly recommend it. We ended our day and our trip with one ride on the park's newest steel monster, Impulse. As someone who has a Gerstlauer Eurofighter tantrum at their home park, I kind of had an idea what to expect. This ride was actually really good. It was my least favorite ride of the day, unfortunately. And I don't know if it's just because I was blown away by the two Woodies this park has to offer, or if it's because this had one little flaw in my opinion. The lap bar got tighter as the ride went on. Fortunately, it wasn't enough to cause stapling, and really didn't feel like it would, but could see this being a problem to some people. This was a solid ride and is a great little addition to the collection they have at Knoebles, but it's just wasn't the greatest ride to me. One thing I did like about this park is the fact that they had seats for the employees at the rides. I worked at an amusement park and we never got that. I also like how cheap the food is. Seriously, if you're looking for an affordable park, this is one to go to. So this is going to end my experience at Knoebles. I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.